Hey folks! We are here in my bathroom today because I am going to be doing my roots. I've been doing my own roots for about a year now. Last year when COVID hit, I started doing my own roots. Been doing it for a year, so I'm just going to show you what I do and how I do my roots, just to show you that it is possible to do it on your own. Obviously, I'm not getting the results that I was when I was going to a hairdresser or when I could afford to go to a hairdresser. If you are a hairdresser, maybe you don't need to watch this video. Don't at me. I do kind of know what I'm doing. I've got advice from hairdressers, I've got advice from YouTube, so I'm just going to be showing you what I do and let you go through it with me. So, I apologize for the sound quality. I'm in my bathroom, there's a fan, can't turn off the fan, bugs outside, so there's a dog, so it's just going to be a bit of a noisy one. So obviously, you're going to need some bleaching powder and some developer. I use a 20 ball developer on my hair. I do not have sensitive skin, or I don't have a sensitive scalp or sensitive hands, so that's never caused me any issues. And then after I bleach, I have to tone my hair. Don't recommend this brand that I bought. It was all they had when I went to the store one day. It's really quite cheap, cheaper than what I had before. Don't really recommend it because it comes out much more gold than it did with the other thing I was using. So I have a new, to me, toner that I just bought today, so I'll be trying this out today. To start off, we're going to mix up our bleach powder and developer, and I just do this by sight or just by texture now because I've done this a few times and I kind of, so I don't even have a scoop or anything, kind of have an idea of what the texture should be like. So got that much in there. I'm trying to do enough that I'm not going to have to mix up any more. I might add a bit more in there. Just because I'm doing this by myself. Sometimes my husband helps me and he does the back. But he is not here today, so I'm going solo. The developer, put that in, and I will show you the consistency. Give you a nice, good look at the consistency. That was one problem I had when I was trying to learn how to do this. Oh, also, I think if you start, I've seen you're supposed to start with the developer in there and put in a little bit of bleach and mix, or the other way around so that you don't get lumps. But I find just if I mix long enough, I don't get too many lumps. Yeah, so just stirring it up with the brush. Are you supposed to do it that way? I don't know. And I have really thick hair, so I require a lot of product. I guess that's what it looks like at the moment. I like it to be a little bit runnier than that, just so everything really seeps in. Maybe that's too much. And last time I did my hair, I don't think I put enough developer in because it did not go as light as it usually does. Oh, maybe that's the time before last. And last time I was able to kind of fix it up a little bit. Okay, this looks about right. So kind of a runny paste, which is a very pleasant phrase. So there we are. Some lumps in there. You know. Don't think if I do have lumps because you were watching. Try to get rid of the lumps. Okay. So, close the developer because it just smells very strong. Highly recommend having a window open. And it is also summer in Australia, in Brisbane, where I live, and it is incredibly hot and sweaty like crazy. And I'm standing in kind of the corner of my bathroom where there is very little airflow. So I'm going to take my hair down And you'll notice my little setup here, I have this mirror. It's just a like tall mirror. I have it up on a chair against my shower, and then there's a mirror next to my sink. It's not in front of the sink. The sink's down here. Windows above the sink. And then the mirror's there. So I'm going to be looking straight ahead into the mirror or into the viewfinder. So I'm going to take my hair down, and my hair is not clean. It's a few days dirty. I'm very disappointed in my last wet set. I used slightly bigger foam rollers than I did in the video that I just posted recently of doing a wet set, and the bigger rollers, like, the curls do not stay at all if my curls are not like tight little things. They don't stay in. Okay, so just gonna brush. Get some teasing there. Brush everything out. And I've heard that the oils, like if you do your roots when your hair is dirty, it's better for your scalp because the oils kind of protect the scalp. See? I used a curling iron to curl the front of my hair this morning, and that's what it looks like now, and it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, I am so sweaty. It is so hot here. Okay, so I'm gonna use this clip to section my hair into 4 sections. 4 quadrants. Okay. And then I'm gonna go make a fairly large section in the front, just so the sections in the back are smaller, so I don't have to spend as much time in the back where I can't see. I tried that last time and it seemed to work pretty well. So I just use little rubber bands. I hope you're going to be able to hear anything in this video. That fan is pretty noisy. You can also just use regular hair ties to do this, but I just so happen to have them in my little hair. Oh, you also probably, it's good to have these little duckbill clips. Now, I received some advice today while buying my toner that it's a good idea to start at the back because the back of your hair is usually a little bit darker anyway because it sits underneath all of your hair. It doesn't have as much sun exposure, and so it's okay for it to sit a little bit longer in the back. Now that I've got that section parted, I've seen this done 2 ways. I've seen people go this way along the back or starting up here and going down. I'm pretty sure when I've done this, I've gone vertically. I'm pretty sure. So I basically use the mirror in the back. I do it mostly by feel, and I just use the back mirror to check that I'm doing it right. I'm actually going to shift it over because I'm going to start with this section that's down already. Because now I can see in the mirror in front of me, you guys can't see it, but in the mirror in front of me I can see this side a lot better. So here we go. Hopefully battery's not going to die because you can't really stop once I start. For this, I am quite generous. I take a good glob. So I'm going to go back to front just because I think that's going to be a little bit easier, maybe. I don't think I've done it that way before. I think I usually go front to back, but I think maybe this is going to help. Okay. So I'm just turning it on, you can't see. But starting at the back, Duke. Julie, sweetie. Woven on there, and I got some on the other section, but hopefully because it's back, it's gonna be okay. And then sure I get the top as well. Okay, great. Oh, sudden darkness. Blurred all that. And then using the tail of the comb, I'm gonna just section off the next little bit. So I'm doing this largely by feel, that it's kind of right next to my other part. Probably be better for me to do this starting in the front so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so more specific instructions. You may have noticed I've already done the back, but instructions were not good doing it in the back because you couldn't see anything. So what I do is the section that's parted, I pull down on that hair, and then I'm going to look in the front mirror, and then blob up some product on the brush. Keeping the hair taut really helps. And get that all so it's penetrated your roots, and then make sure to get the back of the section as well. And then once I feel like that's pretty well coated, I put the tail of the comb through. Lost my light. Put the tail of the comb through a nice thin section. Pull that up, over, and get my clip. Put that down so it's nice and taut. And then go on to the next section. So go on to this new portion. Here, again, trying not to overlap too much. And then I also go back over in this section. So, pretty simple idea. Getting a new section here. So you want your sections to be thin enough that the product will definitely penetrate through to the next layer, so you don't get any, don't miss any spots. So I mentioned before when I was doing the back that I don't generally have any problems if I overlap a little bit of bleach onto an already bleached section, because my roots, like the roots that are really close to the scalp, tend to kind of always be brassy, and so by giving them a little bit of a touch up, for me, it seems to really help and really work well. So I don't worry too much about it. And people tell you, or I've heard, that you should do your little front flyaways and wispies last because they're thinner, but for me they are some of the most difficult parts to grab the bleach. Like, I don't want to bleach, so I do those as I go because otherwise they don't like to lighten. Forgot to clip the last section. Using the clip on this side is a fairly recent development, and I find that it helps a lot. So I do recommend taking a bit of extra time to do it. Not sure why, but I often find myself making a makeup face while I do this. I don't know why. It's not involved, hopefully, getting anything on your face. You're doing it right. Ooh, just then. Okay, so now that that section is complete, I'm going to pull it forward and just make sure I got all the like kind of order of this section. Okay, and to the last section. Now I'm actually going to go get a spray bottle. I've never actually done this before, but bleach is supposed to stay damp. If it dries, it stops working. It doesn't usually take me this long, so I'm going to go get, I don't know, it feels pretty damp still. Give me all my towels. Which is great. Now that's why all my towels have bleach spots. Now, whoops. Process. My mirror over. Also gonna rinse my hands. You're supposed to wear gloves when you do this, but like I said before, I don't have sensitive skin and it never has bothered me. I find this section a lot harder because my arm gets in the way of being able to see in my little mirror. Alright, so now moving back to my front sections. finish this on my own because the memory card is almost full, and I'll see you when it's done. I'm back. So I just finished the last front section, and now I'm going to show you how I kind of do some touch-ups, and then I put it all up and cling wrap my head. So I take all the sections down, and I use just a normal hair elastic. So I grab it all up on top of my head and just do kind of a little fun situation. Probably could use bobby pins and then not worry about bleaching my hair elastic. But anyway, so I basically go all around my head with what's left in my bowl, which is not very much. And then really make sure I've got all the roots, especially what's visible when my hair is up, or if it's in victory rolls or something. All of this is really, really visible. And if you're like me and your skin is not super sensitive, you don't have to worry too much about getting it on your skin. I definitely have a little bit more sensitivity with this bleach, and I go around the back as well. This bleach and developer this cheaper one that I've been using. So in the future, we'll not be repurchasing this one, but it's not too bad for me. So all these little baby hairs, really gotta get them, because for me, they don't like me. Okay. Oh, probably gone too far with my hair, but oh well. Now I'm gonna go get my cling wrap. So I just got my normal cling wrap, and for me, the trick is, too many things in here, to take out enough to wrap around your head. And yes, this is not very environmentally friendly, but you know, it's what I've got. So hair out section, and then pull it around. Pull your ears out, if you want, I guess you can. And then just wrap it around. This is just so that the bleach doesn't dry out. And I guess allows it to heat up. So, okay, so now that I'm looking good, I'm gonna let this sit in my hair for 45 minutes to an hour. I find with this one that's how long I need, but it's anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. And you can kind of like check by kind of pushing bleach away from your roots to just kind of see how light they've gotten. And then I will rinse it out. I'll show you what it looks like before I do that. And then we'll move on to toning. So because I'm doing this on a Saturday morning in Australia, that means that there is a new Rachel Max video. So that's been my reward for myself this whole time, is while it's developing, I get to sit and watch a Rachel Max video. So I will see you when I come back. It's this one. Can't wait. See you soon. Gotta go. Bye. Howdy. So I'm back. It's been about 45 minutes, I think. So what I did was I just pulled back the cling wrap a little bit to just kind of check and see that my roots in the front had lightened, and they have lightened quite a bit. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this out, and then I will start on the toner. I did miss, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, I've got a couple of hairs that I missed over right there. It's like the tiniest little bit of the hair that I missed, but of course it's right on the front where it rolls. So I'm gonna rinse this out and we'll see how we went. So I just rinsed it out with cold water and shampoo, and I'm pretty happy with the color. I mean, it's always, with this one, it has always turned out kind of yellowy as opposed to other bleaches and stuff that I've used, but yeah, really can't complain. So the next step is to do the toner. So I've got the toner, which it is Arctic Silver. That's the color of this brand, High Lift brand. So the instructions are actually on the inside of the box, so I had to open up the box. So it says mixing. Okay, so the mixing ratio is 1 to 1.5. So I'll do 1 part toner, 1.5 part developer. And the developer I'm using is also by High Lift. It does not have a percentage, like a volume, like this one's like 20 volume. The girl at the store said it's not to lift anything, like I'm not trying to lift color out, I'm just trying to tone the color. So, and apparently this color toner is not going to darken at all, which I've had that problem in the past when I use the toner. The other problem I've had with toner is by the time I get it all in and rinse it out, I usually start at the front and it has like colored way too much. And then the other parts that I do last don't get any tone to them. So I've got some parts that are brassy, some parts that are toned, and it just looks a hot mess. So I'm gonna try doing this. That's why, so I've got 1/2 of my hair pinned into a little bun. I'm gonna try to do this half of the toner, rinse it out. So I kind of towel dried this, and I'm gonna let it dry maybe a little bit more. You don't want it to be soaking wet, but I like to do it while it's down. And yeah, so I'm gonna try it on this half and then do it on the other half. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up, and we'll come back at you when I'm applying. So I just poured in the developer. One thing I noticed, the developer, I don't know if you'll be able to see, in this one it's way more liquidy than the developer I use for the bleach. This is probably going to turn out much more liquidy, but I think it usually does. It doesn't smell nearly as bad as it does with the other kind of developer. So I'm going to mix this up, and then you don't need to use as big a glob as you do with bleach. Just a little amount. Oh, there's the smell. So you just need a little amount, and I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of doing 4 sections, I'm going to try to do it with just the 2. So yeah, here we go. Same kind of idea. So I'm going to try going kind of top to bottom for this one. It's a bit harder to split the hair when it's wet, especially if it's really tangle prone like mine. I'm not nearly as precise with the toner. Well, I'm not precise with the try to at least really get the areas I know will be visible. I'm pretty sure the girl also said to start at the back and then do the front with the toner as well as the bleach, but I'm gonna do it in one go to get it done faster. Alright, so I'm basically just gonna repeat this all the way down, and we'll come back to you before I rinse. So I just finished putting it through, all through this side. I just kind of did it by feel in the back. And it's usually with the other one I used, it would already be turning dark gray up at the top, which it's not really changed at all at the top so far, so that's great. But guys, it's finally happened. This has never happened to me before, but it finally happened today. Look, I missed a spot. So I'm gonna have to get my husband to help me fix that for sometime very soon. So I guess I'm actually gonna let this sit in my hair. Usually with toner before I have to like do it, rinse. But this seems to be going a lot better. And I'll give it a minute to sit on the roots, and then I'm gonna brush it through. Well, maybe I'll just, no, I'll still do the other side separately. But maybe I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Why not? It doesn't seem to really be doing anything yet drastic, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. So I'll finish that, and then I will brush it through, and then I will rinse it out all together then. Okay, here we go. Try to be quick. I'll be back soon. Alrighty, both sides are done. And I just checked back on the first side. Still hasn't done too much. So I'm gonna actually look at the instructions and see how much. 15 minutes. Oh, ice blonde. Here we go. Okay, so it says like some of them are 30 to 45 minutes, 15 minutes with heat, or 30 minutes without heat. So I'm actually gonna leave this on for about 15 minutes and we'll see how we go from there. I've had the toner on for about 5 minutes, and now I'm just going to take my brush and brush the toner all the way through my hair, just so that my mid-lengths and my ends will tone to be about the same color as my roots, because my hair is about 50 shades of blonde. So I'm going to brush it all the way through, and then let that sit for about 10 more minutes, and then I think I will just rinse it out from there. The toner's been in for about 20 minutes, and I did put in a little bit more right on my roots, especially where I part my hair. So the roots are looking still a little bit brassy, but I think it's gonna be fine once I rinse it out, and once the hair is dry, I don't think you're gonna notice. So I'm gonna rinse it out. And then I'm gonna use a conditioning treatment, my very favorite, by a brand called the Main Club. And I have never seen these sold in tubs or anything. They only come in these little packets from what I've seen. They are so good. There's like 4 different kinds. I don't know if there's any difference really between the 4 different types, but I love this. I use about half of a packet every time I wash my hair. Love it. So I'm gonna do that. So here it is, the finished product. I am so thrilled with this color. My hair has not been this uniform in color since I was getting it done at a hairdresser. Obviously, other than that little spot, I'm not even sure where it is, but very icy blonde, I mean, compared to what I've had before. I'm a big fan. I absolutely love it. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. High lift, and then the developer that was like 0% developer, no lift. I don't know what it is, but highly recommend. Yeah, so I'm gonna set this in some rollers, and I'll have to get back to you later.